Hey everybody, it's Tuesday evening, it's 8 o'clock, and you're watching the Masked Comedian Xcast. Tonight our special guest is comedian and wrestling superfan Alex Jaffe. Glad to have you with us, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, Big Ace alongside me there,
Hello.
and hope everything's going well for you guys during the quarantine, that I like to call it, the staycation.
Yep.
I love the fact that I can be home and do this. I could just do these all day long, and I never get tired of it. Actually, I do get tired of it, but I today I've done 3 shows, only one with a mask, and the one with a mask is the hardest because it's hard to breathe. But I can use this mask if I go to Walmart,
Yeah.
so everything's perfect. So we had. Wrestling is kind of in this nebulous area right now, with all of these stay-at-home orders and essential worker things, and some news came out about the WWE down in Florida, Ace.
Yeah, I guess they got the cops were there the other night, or yesterday, I guess, while trying to do Raw or before or when they were doing Smackdown, maybe on Friday, I guess. That the cops had to go and try to shut them down a bunch of times because of the stay-at-home order. And then today came out that the governor of Florida has deemed them as essential. WWE is essential to the state of Florida. So that came out, which weird.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's very interesting because AEW is obviously doing things in a different way. I don't know if you've watched. There was today was part 2 of being the Elite. I don't know if you watched that. They've been doing matches at the Bucks house with some of the guys, and it's I got to be honest with you, it is hilarious, and it's every bit as entertaining as an actual AEW show to me. So if you haven't watched that, you got Matt Hardy, broken Matt Hardy, giving the rules of the matches, which is hilarious in and of itself. And then you've got the actual matches, and they got 2 guys that they just flat out call jobbers, which is hilarious, And it's like I don't want to spoil any of it. I want you to go and watch it and see if it's as much fun as I thought. But Alex, what have you been watching during the? Of course, you're still working. You're an essential worker, correct?
I am. I'm an essential worker, and oddly enough, I'm not working for the WWE. But so is the Bucks house where they filmed Dynamite now?
No. So I don't know where they're filming Dynamite. I believe the last I had heard, they tried to film some in Georgia because Georgia had not closed down yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so they filmed a bunch there, and as you know, when you watch it, it's kind of a hodgepodge. Jim Ross is not there. It's Tony Schiavone. Last week was so awesome because Chris Jericho was doing the color with him, and honestly, Chris Jericho is going to be involved in wrestling until he dies.
Almost definitely.
He is so good at literally anything that he does. But I got to get this up here. There we go. Comment line. Let's see. Oh, here you go. There we go. Let's put all of this stuff. I get distracted by stuff. But yeah, so I know that they've got a lot in the books. They've got their TNT Championship belt tournament that they're doing. And so it's going to be interesting. I mean, they've got it lined up. They certainly could have done all of those in a row and got them all in the can. But I mean, it's interesting to me to see how they do it. What they're doing is really quite a bit different than what WWE's doing, both in production level and what they're trying to do storyline. WWE's trying to continue to maintain some storylines that are kind of hard to do without any kind of real interaction.
It's going to be interesting to see how it goes though, because now they're going to go live.
Yeah,
back to going live. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. That the other interesting thing though that has to kind of come to, because obviously there's really no valid reason why they are deemed essential, and it's because of the money they bring to Florida, is what it said. Which, how is that happening right now? There's no one there. There's no fans, no nothing. But I guess it's come out that Linda McMahon made like an $18.5 million donation to Florida because she's running the reelect Trump super PAC.
Perfect.
So that happened, and then the very next day they became essential in the state.
Wasn't she also the head of, I believe, it's the Small Business Association under Trump?
I think she was for a while, and then she stepped out of it, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, she's the head of that reelect PAC thing now, I guess. But yeah, so it's just kind of interesting because it really feels like this has been like it's been a joke, but it's kind of starting to really feel like he's taking this whole virus thing personal. Like it's like a personal attack on him. You know what I mean? Like he's like really just like, I get it when September 11th happened and they were the first one to have like a public gathering of that size and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but like now you're just kind of being an idiot and putting all your people at risk right now. Is it worth it? Who knows? They're going to do what they want to do. So me as a fan, I'm going to watch. But I mean, I also think he's under a lot of pressure because now we hear that XFL folded went bankrupt. And it's funny because they claimed that WWE was going to be completely separate and have no part in an XFL, but they actually own 23.5% of XFL.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's, things are going really crazy. Plus, they were kind of doing bad right before all this happened anyways.
Yeah.
You know, which is why it boggles my mind why Vince McMahon is being on this committee. I mean, I get it. It's because they're buddies. But I mean, like, don't we want like successful, good businessmen on there, not guys who are like,
hey, dude, Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame for God's sake.
I know.
Anyway, so let's do this tonight since we got Alex on, and I want to talk to him a little bit about his. You know, he is such a fan, and I mean this sincerely. You're a way bigger fan of wrestling than I am, and you have traveled far and wide to see different events. And so I want to blow through as much of the normal stuff as we can, as quick as we can, because honestly, there's not a whole heck of a lot there. And then let's talk with Alex a little bit about some of these events that he's gone to. I mean, I know this for a fact. He's one of the first guys that buys a ticket for any event that First Wrestling puts on in the Twin Cities. I know that for a fact. But let's do that, and then we'll do our old school review at the very end. How's that sound to you guys?
Sounds good.
All right. So do you want to start off with Dynamite from last week?
Sounds good. Let's do this.
All right. I don't know if you had any kind of order. Ace is usually the guy that has the match cards. I don't have it in front of me. I don't remember any kind of an order. I know that.
It's the women's match at the beginning, I believe. Yeah,
Sheeta and Britt Baker was fantastic, and I don't know if, I mean, it looked like Britt Baker actually busted her nose.
Yeah,
and that was just such a good match, and I think they're building Britt Baker into the point where she doesn't really need to win to be excellent for them. She is doing a fantastic job of being that female slimy heel. You know, in my opinion.
One thing I've noticed though, like when not just with this match though, just like the overall look of the AEW show when they were doing like the whole because they can't film in front of like a large crowd, they have like sporadic crowd members, you know, wrestlers that aren't wrestling or whatever. It kind of looks like a faux indie show now. Yeah, almost like IWA Deep South like level like crowd attendance, which is kind of cool because when I was watching, this kind of jumps over to the WWE thing though. When they have like no crowd, it just really seems to like, you know, suck a lot of the energy out of the match though. When there's absolutely like no crowd, as opposed to like, you know, some. Because like you know when you're watching like a street fight in a wrestling match or whatever, like when they're fighting behind the scenes or whatever, and they can't rely on like stomping on the mat to get the sound effects going.
Yeah.
And they have to like do all the sounds with like the mouth. And it's almost like when you're watching the WWE that the wrestlers are really going above and beyond to try to fill like the silence. So maybe like they're all already like screaming like that the way that they're wrestling normally, and then it's just masked with all the crowd reactions or whatever. It just sounds so out of place.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed that.
You know, it's funny because when they first went and did the empty arena shows,
Yep.
Ace and I was talking about it, and he says, gosh, it'd be nice if they just had some of the boys around the ring. And
Yep.
lo and behold, then AEW did that. And it really, just that little bit of atmosphere made a huge difference. And then the following week, they put everybody backstage, and it didn't feel as good. And now that they have these other guys out there again, it makes it more. Now, the one thing I didn't like was the participation by some of these guys. I didn't understand, because there's guys that I don't know holding wrestlers while the other guy doesn't move them, and I just, to me, there's a bit of a disconnect, you know.
Yeah, like for me, like the whole Billy Gunn and his son, like they actually introduced his son as a talent. He just all of a sudden was backstage with his dad in some parts, and now they've like kind of used him around the ring and stuff. So
yeah,
it's fine. So Sheeta won that match with the Shining Wizard, which I love the Shining Wizard, so I'm always down with that. But so that makes her number one contender for Nyla Rose.
Yep.
So like you said, Britt Baker's doing a good job as a heel. So like, where does that go? Where does she end up now that she's not in the title picture? And obviously I don't see Sheeta winning it, because that would literally be doing just kind of like throwing. I mean, I think Sheeta is a bit more over than Riho. I think but I still don't think that's the right decision, putting the strap on her. So.
Right. I think what you're going to have is you're going to have a situation.
Here I am. Awesome.
Yep. You're going to have a situation where they got to find somebody, and maybe it's Statlander, that they're going to have to put the belt on so Britt Baker can get it, because ultimately Nyla Rose is good, a big massive beast, but like her on mic skills are not great. Britt Baker is better on mic and not as good a wrestler as Nyla Rose. So there's a balance that you kind of have to strike, and in order to put it on the talker, you got to find a way to get it off the person that legitimately looks like they should have the belt anyway. I don't know how they do that. There's got to be a way, because obviously you can't leave it on Nyla Rose forever. But who knows? It's one of those things, and we talk about it all the time. The women's division in AEW is kind of lacks direction, where the women's division in WWE is super stacked, and they sort of, I mean, in COVID times, everything's out the door a bit, but at least they have a plan for each person going forward, where it sort of just still seems like they're just throwing shit together on AEW to me. And the women's division, not the men's.
But AEW's also kind of holed up on their pay-per-views, because doesn't appear that Double or Nothing's going to actually go down.
Nope.
And then they kind of haven't really been doing it. You know, they pushed back the War Game stuff they were going to do. So I think that's why that you're getting that right now, is because I think they're hesitant to carry any storyline further right now that they don't want to do on TV. You know what I mean? Until they know for sure, like, oh, okay, we're not going to do that. It's going to be a few months or longer till we do an actual pay-per-view or like a live one. So let's start just building and doing them, whatever. But, you know, where WWE's, you know, they're still full steam ahead because they're going to run their pay-per-views. Money in the Bank's happening. We're getting qualifying matches now. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter They're essential now. They can do whatever they want.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
like in Parks and Rec's Ron Swanson when he tries to butcher the pig at the city park. He's like, I have a permit, and all of a sudden,
Oh, God.
I can do this. Ron Swanson. Like,
Oh,
that's
my
what
God.
it's like for them. They're just now in Florida. It's like, we can do whatever. You can stop us.
Perfect.
Well, it is Florida. Florida is basically the Wild West.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then back to the Dynamite. Lance Archer. Well, Jake did his little thing in the beginning. Lance Archer
Oh, yeah.
beats Alan Angels. In case anybody caught the name of who got just beat up.
No, I just thought it was local jobber.
Alan Angel, local judge. It's the same.
Yeah.
Same. Then they had, what was it, footage of Kenny Omega, Nakazawa, something about best friends, and best friends walks in, and they end up having a match, and the winner gets the name best friends.
Yeah. Which
again falls into your just throwing shit together.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like it was tongue in cheek, but it was a reason for them to have a match.
Yeah, which is fine. Is Hangman just not? Is he done? Is he waiting to sell out? Is that what's going on?
I think he's. I mean, from every indication I've seen, the only thing that I've seen him included in or participating in is being the Elite, and I think he's just home, and he'll send him a little video every once in a while, and I think that's it. He's the main one that you kind of miss. I'm sure there are others that we're not thinking of that are not on the program that we kind of like, whatever.
Well, the other thing too is, he's the tag title, so like that's holding up the whole tag division now.
Yeah.
So they can't do anything with that, which is why we're going to get this. Okay, Kenny and Nakazawa, which great, a lot of comedy spots in that match.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like them. A lot of people don't like the oil, but
I think it's funny. Like the first initial time,
yeah.
But then, like drop it. Don't need to do it again in the match.
Yeah. All right.
They rankings report.
Oh yeah,
you guys see that?
I'll say this. I feel like AEW did a better job flow-wise with their show by putting some of these things in, like the ranking report, than WWE did. WWE's little backstage segments and packages seem to be more rehashes of what happened. Like, I mean, this week they still ran a promo package for Drew McIntyre about WrestleMania, and that was 3 weeks ago now, or 2 weeks ago now, right? So 2 weeks after, they're still running the promo package. He come out and did a good job, but the point is that AEW seems to be like, okay, here's kind of current, versus WWE's like, here's what happened and here's why we're doing this. I kind of like it better current, and the information makes the show go better, and it's interesting to me. I don't know what you guys think.
I really like the idea of rankings because it's like easier to picture, like as a fan, of like where people are in the hierarchy. Because usually when you're watching pro wrestling, you can see like, oh, this is the champion, this is the number one contender, but then anything else, it's like anybody could be number 3 when you really think about it. Or like records are kind of fun to look at, though, even though it's like in the grand scheme of things, like they really don't mean anything, though. But it's really nice to like see like on paper, like this is the order that it is right now, though. Like after this number one contender, it would be this person, though. It just makes things like, it looks more thought out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's nice because they're two different things. You know what I mean? Like it would be weird for WWE, I think, to put out something like this because that obviously isn't a thing that they look at. But being that AEW prides themselves on records matter here, and it's gonna renew every year and all that. Like this is stuff that they should be doing this like every other week. They should be throwing like a rankings up for singles, for the women's, for the tag. All that, yeah. Like I thought it was a cool little new addition. That it helps if that's the thing they're going for. If they're trying to make it more of an athletic competition by having records
Sorry about that. Yep,
Why not?
I agree.
Yeah, then they had the stuff with Tagar and Moxley,
Yep.
which, okay. Profiles for the TNT Championship Tournament, which is going to be the first match of that tournament at the end of this show. Then you got the Omega Nakazawa best friends with Orange Cassidy match. Again, everybody did what they were supposed to do in this. Best friends beating Nakazawa. I was kind of hoping Nakazawa was going to join the Dark Order.
Yeah,
I wanted to see the one random guy in the mask, but I want him to still do the oil gimmick just with the mask on. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be funny.
That would be interesting, to say the least.
Just when they do, like, the throne for Evil Uno, and then he's just standing off to the side, still putting oil on himself, but he's just got the Dark Order mask on now.
Yeah.
It'd be funny. Brody Lee. More stuff with Brody Lee. More comparing to his former boss.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like part of what he does in terms of his character. I'd like it more if he was just like a gangsterish businessman. And I think I'm curious to know, and I'm sure we probably won't until after this particular character is over with him. But I'd be interested to know if this is his idea, if this is what he wants to do personally, or if it's a group of them, if there's input from other people that are like, hey man, you ought to really razz Vince. I don't know, because I think, and we've talked about it several times since he started doing it. It's like, okay, the first time was cute, and now it's kind of like, you don't need to do it. And that's the thing that's kind of, to me, a little bit concerning. Is that it's going to become this thing, and it's going to make him look bad in the long run. Because some people, I think, love the fact that he's poking Vince. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of good-natured fun, but it seems like a lot of it's very, very kind of inside, and that's the kind of stuff that can get you in trouble, in my opinion.
Well, that was kind of a signature thing for TNA back in, like, what was it, 2005 to like 2007. Like whenever somebody came over from the WWE, though, they would always just like cut a week in, week out promo. I mean, hell, remember the Voodoo Kin Mafia? And once again, though, it's like a real fine line that these workers would really have to walk, though. Otherwise, that could make things a little awkward, year or two down the road.
Right. Yeah. From what I understand, AEW has a whole lot of creative freedom.
Yeah.
From what I've heard from people on the inside. So my guess is he's got a lot of input going in on this, and more than likely most of this is his idea. And that's fine, but for me, what I'm having issues is, you did these really great vignettes or these PSAs that we were getting about the Dark Order, where all of a sudden they would have the cut-ins and join the Dark Order, whatever. You have Evil Uno, the other guy, and the masks, and how the lights would go off. There was the eerie, creepy feel to what they were doing. Then it was kind of like menacing because they had the cult feel. And what my issue is, the Exalted one comes, and now he's just some like business guy. And it feels like a very big disconnect from what they were trying to sell, what the Dark Order was. Because it's like, well, wait, the Dark Order is this mysterious evil thing, but you just have some like dude from Wolf of Wall Street running it. Like, something's not right here. I don't know. It just, to me, it's not like Matt Hardy coming in being the Exalted one would have made way more sense.
Absolutely.
Worked with that. It would have worked a lot better. I just don't. That's my thing. I like Brody Lee. I wasn't a huge fan in WWE, but he was stuck with what he was stuck with. He was doing the best he could do. I was one of the people that would always say, man, if him on his own in WWE, it's going to be tough. He'll always be the guy from the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
And him and Rowan have had to deal with that now. So excited for a new start with AEW, but I don't care. If that's what you want to do, I don't need it. We talked about this on on an episode a couple weeks ago. I don't need it. This isn't the Attitude Era where it's the Monday Night Wars. I don't need to see AEW taking direct shots at WWE and vice versa. I don't need that as a wrestling fan anymore. I just want to be able to watch different shows and be entertained and enjoy the fact that we have more than one option. And so, I don't really care though, but I can't get on board with him being the leader of the Dark Order right now.
Right. It's almost like they had him, didn't know what to do with him, and just said, hey, well, we'll just insert you here. And initially, I thought, that's a great idea, because he was a follower with Bray, and now he's going to be a leader. And that's kind of a neat transition. But, now it's like I'm right there with you. I don't know what, they threw away something good they had with the join the Dark Order business, I feel like.
Well, with the Dark Order being led by a businessman type character, don't you think that could be like a reference to the Ministry of Darkness, who the higher power was Vince McMahon?
I mean, definitely. But I also don't need to see it again. It wasn't that great the first time. It was kind of like hearing that could have been Christopher Daniels.
Oh God!
Oh my God! They definitely was a letdown being Vince McMahon. Then, if that was the real,
all the rumors were part of the fun of that whole angle, and it's like now it's like there's not signs up anymore. Join the Dark Order. That part to me was that because when we talked about this before, when they first came out, it's like, what the hell are these guys doing? And it was like. Until the Nightmare Collective came out, it was the shittiest part of that show, and they changed it and they built it and they got it to the point where it's like, oh, now I get it. This is and they worked it into a really good angle, and I just feel like part of it's thrown away. So anyway,
more stuff with Moxley and Hagar. Then we hear from Matt Hardy from the compound.
Wonderful.
Sammy Guevara is a false god and probably a fake Latino. That's not. Have to throw that in there, I guess.
Yeah.
So basically, what we get is Matt Hardy has challenged Chris Jericho basically to a compound match or a delete with the great delete, whatever he calls
deletion.
It. The deletion. What did he call him? The circle of internals or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Which credit to Matt Hardy for being able to come up with the names for people. Like the Bucks of Youth still cracks me up every time he says it. I laugh every time.
It's good. It's like Bob Lashley.
I love that too. With what Mania did with the stuff, the cinematic feel stuff.
Yeah.
With really all that still having the vibe of the initial final deletion of the Hardy brothers. I mean, it'll be fun to see what these and it's Jericho and him. They're gonna have a good time doing this. They're gonna go all out. So that's exciting. I'm very, very excited to see the end product of what that's gonna be.
Yep, agreed.
Yep.
Brody Lee versus Lee Johnson, another
local
squasher. Yeah. Brody Lee gets the win, and then we have the first quarterfinal match for the TNT Championship Tournament, which is Cody versus Shawn Spears.
And that was actually a really good match. I felt like a lot of back and forth. A lot of I was wondering kind of though where was Tully Blanchard there? I don't think he was.
I know he was in the hype package along with Arn Anderson. I can't remember if he was on the show or not.
I feel like they're probably not making those two travel right now, Dom.
Probably not, because they're in the target where if they were to catch this, they'd have the chance to be in deep trouble.
Yeah.
And I get that.
That's the same reason they're not doing anything with JR right now.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. But it was a good match.
I like the ending. I like the figure 4 on Spears and just passing out on his back.
Yeah. That was great. I don't know. So Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Brandy was not the ring announcer last week, right? It was.
I guess I don't remember from last week, but I know the week before she did like a few of the matches, but she didn't do all of them.
So between she and Dasha, I think they're the ones that are doing it. And honestly, I can't tell the difference between their voices enough to know who's who.
You know what I love though when Brandy's doing ring announcing is the shit they'll put on top of her name when her nameplate comes on TV, because Cody deliberately is like making fun of her that she's doing this. She said she would never ever ring announce again.
Oh, God.
So every time it's just hilarious when they pop that up.
But overall, a good match, and it lines up Cody to. Now he'll have to. So the next match is Lance Archer and who? Do you recall? Because it sets up Cody to, obviously Lance Archer is going to beat whoever he was up against, and then I think it's him and Cody. Or did they already do that?
I don't actually have the bracket in front.
Yeah, I don't know. We should. Well, I'll see if I can find it. I don't know. But the point being, I'm really curious whether Cody will win against Lance Archer, or he'll put Archer over. It feels like he's got to put him over at this point. Don't you think?
Yeah, I don't. But the thing about it is, I feel like this is going to be the final of whatever this tournament is these two against each other. So it would be for that title. Do you really think Cody's gonna lose
it on himself?
Both title matches he's been in?
Well, see, it's a good point. It gives him. I feel like if he wins the belt, it gives him an opportunity to come back and say, well, I know I said I wasn't going to wrestle for the championship again, but now I'm this champion, maybe
a different title.
Yeah, and so now I'm this champion. Maybe I should get a shot at the big title, because obviously he's going to get a shot at it again down the line. I don't know. It's interesting the combinations of people that they have in those matches, and I wish I had the bracket in front of me. I just was thinking, God, that'll be good. God, that'll be good. So I don't know. It's a toughie. Anyway, good match. We're done with Dynamite, right? Right. Okay. Now we move on to Smackdown. We didn't watch it very much. I tried to watch it. See, the problem for me, Alex, and I say this every single week, there's so much wrestling, and I try to watch it all, and then I watch it and I forget some of it. And it's like, so the thing that really stood out to me on SmackDown was the fact that Bray Wyatt came out. First of all, the squash match between, because it was a squash match, really. Well, maybe it wasn't time-wise, but between Nakamura and Braun Strowman, you knew what was going to happen. But I was kind of surprised by Bray Wyatt at the end of the show coming out and making a play now to get his belt back from Braun Strowman, which is absolutely brilliant to me. Or not?
You're talking about Bray?
Bray. Yeah, Bray Wyatt did a
Braun Strowman. Yep.
Yeah, it definitely seems what they're. It's kind of funny. Like, he's going after everybody that wronged him in the past.
Yeah, and it's like it's subtle, but it's there, and it's like it makes absolute sense. And the reason it can make sense is because the Firefly Funhouse doesn't have to be in the ring per se.
No, you're right, but and this is great. I'm all for this, and if Bray gets it, cool, great. But it really makes you think, like, man, did they pull the trigger way too early on putting the title on Bray initially as the Fiend?
Yeah,
like this would be even better if he hadn't won it yet, and now he's going to get his first chance at Braun for it.
Yeah,
I feel like then you could really build it. It would help Braun out at this point too, since they've kind of crapped on him, and then all of a sudden just kind of were like, here.
Yeah, why don't you hold this for a minute? But
that Chris Jericho treatment back in what was it, 2002? Eh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much. I don't know. But other than that, I mean, I know there was stuff going on. There was a match between Tucky and Ziggler that actually showcased Tucker pretty good. But it's still, I don't know what that is. He showed pictures of Otis and Mandy, like, with pineapples or shit.
It was like bananas or something.
Bananas or whatever the hell it was. Oh yeah, that's right, because somebody said Otis likes potassium. Anyway, but I mean, that was there, and then honestly, I don't remember a whole lot of it. I mean, the other part, I guess, was that so I just remember this on the fly. Bayley being challenged by Tamina for the title, and she said, "Oh, you can get a shot if you can beat Sasha." And Sasha's like pissed. So it's awesome because that they're setting it up so Sasha and Bayley are gonna finally split up and fight each other, and I think that'll be awesome too. So
yeah, I think it would have already actually happened too if it wasn't for the given times.
Oh yeah,
they want that to happen with a crowd in the building.
Yeah,
they want the Sasha Bayley against each other in a building with people there. So they may try to string that one out a little bit.
But I was gonna say that'd be like the 3 highlights for me that I can remember from SmackDown. Although I know there was more stuff than that.
But the tag women's champ wasn't it the Kabuki Warriors? Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross basically had a rematch, which weird because I thought the rematch clause wasn't a thing anymore. But the Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross retain.
Yeah,
I don't remember what else. They got challenged by Dana Brooke and Carmella.
Oh yeah, Dana Brooke and Carmella, another thrown together team.
So that's again, they're really not doing anything with that women's tag team division. Like they should be doing more, especially with Bliss and Cross, because it'd be nice to see a really good feud for them.
Yeah,
and then a really good feud between them. So it'd be nice for that to happen. And what else did happen? My worry with the whole Mandy Rose, Otis, Ziggler, Sonya Deville is, again, I like it. I like everything about it. And Sonya Deville and Dolph together, perfect.
Yeah.
Like, they work perfect together. You just kind of feel bad for Tucker.
Yeah.
And really hope this doesn't just take him out of the equation. You know what I mean?
He's the odd man out. Hey,
Where's
happy to have you watching us, sir.
Yeah.
Or madam, thank you very much. We're glad to see you.
So, it's, you feel really bad for that. But I also like it, too, and it's going to be fun to see this get down to the mixed tag team match that is coming. I just hope it can carry it a little further. That I would like to see Sonya and Mandy actually have a one-on-one match at a pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's probably going to come down the pike at some point, too. But that's okay. There we go. That's your smackaroony. I guess anything else that you want to add in there about SmackDown, Alex, at all?
I did actually get around to watching SmackDown, so I can't really throw anything in on that one.
Yeah, no worries, buddy.
Yeah.
Good, because we can blow through it and get the other stuff. All right.
Yeah.
And then let's hop right over to Raw last night. And Raw was very interesting in terms of they did the big, rehash of McIntyre and his 2 matches at WrestleMania, even though we really only saw one, which was so weird. I mean, we had extra time, but we didn't show you this match because we recorded it. I had a little disconnect with that whole thing, but that was from last week, and this was just a rehash. McIntyre actually came out and did a fantastic promo, I thought, particularly given the time. And I just, I feel so good for that guy finally getting his chance. And yeah, I mean, I think he knocked it out of the park. He gets challenged by Andrade and Zelina Vega, who, again, we've talked about this in the past. They're developing her into a fantastic faction leader, stable leader, and I loved it.
Yeah, and this Raw, you really finally got to see it come together.
Yeah.
Like, they were really actually out there firing on all cylinders as that team, that triple threat. So, yeah, very cool to see that the stable's finally taking shape. Hopefully it turns into something, because it gives you that old school feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. There you go, Les. That is a good point. Big Show did main event WrestleMania. This is true. Not only that, he's got the third highest rated show on Netflix.
Have you watched it?
I haven't yet.
It sounds just painful.
I think it's a family kind of show. Did you ever see? Because like he was in a movie that WWE did and
Knucklehead.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Was it Knucklehead?
Yeah, that's it. And I remember taking my kids to that, and you know,
he's been in a few movies.
Oh yeah, he's been. Well, his biggest famous role was Captain Insano. Yeah, in Waterboy.
He was in Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, he is. Him and a bunch of them were in that MacGruber. The MacGruber.
Oh, that's right.
Movie, which when I was on the Jericho cruise this last year, they were playing that movie constantly in our cabins on one of the TV channels. If you've never seen the movie, it's so stupid, but it's hilarious. Definitely worth a watch. But yeah, so that's funny. Big Show did main event Mania. Good for him. Good for him. That show though, I did watch it. And yeah, it's totally a kiddie show and stuff, but I will say, like, he is good.
Yeah. He's a good actor.
You watch it and you're like, kind of like, man, I kind of wish Big Show was my dad. Like, it looks like he would have been a cool dad. But yeah, then what we had, so now we're getting our Money in the Bank qualifying matches.
Yep.
Going full steam ahead. We're back live. We're essential.
Yeah.
So it's happening. So
did they have just I can't recall the two women's match. I think they just have two women's matches.
Yeah, so the first match was for the women's Money in the Bank, and it was your girl Asuka
against
Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott, who I also like.
Which they're not doing anything with.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I almost felt like Ruby Riott was going to win that match. It would have made sense, but I mean, Asuka's as much as I like her, Asuka yelling in Japanese is just about the most annoying thing that I can hear in my ears. I mean, you put it into balance. Is it Asuka yelling in Japanese or Lana speaking just at her normal tone? I don't know which is more annoying. But that was a great match, I felt like, and Asuka pulls off the win.
That she sure does. So she will be in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. They're always going to invest, I feel like, in Asuka because you never know when Kairi's going to leave.
Right. And I think the thing about Asuka, too, is that she seems like whatever they tell her to do, she just seems like she's just going to do it and not complain. I mean, I get that impression. I don't know about you, Alex. I every once in a while I'll watch her channel on YouTube, and it's mostly in Japanese, and the translation is horrible. So half the time you don't know what the hell she's saying. But it's interesting, and she just seems like a person who is in this position and seems to be very happy and seems to have a positive attitude about whatever goes on. And I just feel like whatever they tell her to do, she's just going to do it.
Oh, most definitely. Like, you can tell that she is having fun with whatever it is she's doing. I mean, like, it just, like, it's obvious on that. And it's really kind of cool that with, like, her and a lot of the other wrestlers, though, it's like they're really into, like, you know, this, like, nerd culture type thing. Because that just makes things like way more relatable to like the general populace.
Yeah.
You know what makes me laugh though is how every week you come on here and there's nothing more annoying than listening to Asuka on the microphone, but then you say But I watch her YouTube from time to
I
time.
do, because she doesn't yell in Japanese on her. I mean, it's like she's just. And I'm like, what the? And then you go to her YouTube channel, and she's just speaking like in a normal tone.
I love it.
I don't know.
You know what I don't know about? I don't know about MVP continuously saying he's done and then coming back. I know he's working as an agent. I don't know. Does he need to be doing these? Whatever. Cool. If he's gonna do some part-time work, whatever.
I mean, the thing also is they're. I mean, let's be honest. There are certain talent that aren't working right now, and they kind of need the guy.
That's true. Next match, though. I
think MVP is just trying to beat Terry Funk's record for like retirements.
Right.
Could be.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aleister Black versus Orny Lorcan. Which it was Lorcan and what was his tag partner in NXT? Either of you guys remember?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, it's. I'll tell you, man. We were just talking about what a great job that they've done making Zelina Vega the leader of this stable, and just I mean, it's great to watch. It is a fantastic. Whoops! It is a fantastic thing that they've done with her.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so this Black and Lorcan match, though, good stuff.
It really was, and surprisingly so.
That's like a wrestler's like hardcore fan match right there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's not a match you would normally think we're gonna see on a Raw.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like them two, maybe NXT back in, sure. But it's nice to see we're seeing some of these people from NXT showing up. It is a good question, though. Is it like, because people, certain people aren't coming out, or are these people actually making like, debuts? We saw the Forgotten Sons debut.
Yeah.
On Monday Night Raw, which I've not been a fan of when they were. To me, I see them and I'm just like, they're trying to be what Sanity tried to be.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work for me. But anyways, so yeah, then we get Becky Lynch to come out, cut a promo. Truck.
I was sad she didn't drive her truck, but I still put it in our thumbnail.
I saw that you did that. That's awesome. Yeah. So, okay. So we're just gonna hang out and wait till Money in the Bank to find out who her next opponent's gonna be, I guess.
It's it's just one of those weird things that like for me. Okay, so this guy, I just feel like, she's addressing the things that everybody's talking about, right? She's I've become annoying. Well, maybe it's just that I'm part. Maybe it's just that I'm funky. I just want to pop this up here, right? First of all, cat don't like banana. Well, why the hell are you trying to feed a cat a banana? That's the dumbest goddamn thing I ever heard in my life.
I don't know. But the second one I think is about my cat and the cat.
The cat. Well, you get your cat up there on stage, and then we'll see. That cat got fat just not from eating bananas. You skinny up a cat trying to feed it a banana, because cats don't like goddamn bananas.
I might have to start feeding bananas then, because
they'll make them fatter. No, because you stick a banana and then they run away. You know how it is. You see the videos where you put the cucumber by the cat and then the cat goes yeah. They don't like it, but they don't like bananas. They don't like cucumbers.
I've never tried it. I've seen it, but I've never tried it.
Okay. Have you tried making a box on the floor and then the cat just gravitates towards the box? Like if you make a box out of tape or whatever. Does that make sense?
I've never seen that.
Okay, so basically, you take some duct tape and you put it on the floor in a box, and then the cat just gravitates towards like that spot on the floor.
Huh.
They're very strange creatures.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Anyway,
he wants a banana in the cat food. Well, that makes sense, I guess. But you started a new show. We're gonna call it Cat Food, and we'll be talking about this.
What's up with this guy trying to feed cats bananas? Is this like a thing?
I'm assuming that the bananas slow him down from overeating is why you would put it in there. It's my guess. They don't like bananas, you know.
Cats like fish and cats like birds. Jesus God, don't jam a banana down a cat's mouth. That's the dumbest thing. Dude.
I've thought about taking him on some walks.
God love you. But don't put them on a banana diet. God, that'll just, you know what?
Well, it's like dogs, though. Like,
okay,
if dogs
look,
eat too fast, you got to put rocks in their food.
no, you don't put
What?
rocks in their food.
Yeah, you've never heard of this?
No, you
It
don't.
slows them down. Yeah, no, vets will back this up. It slows them down for dogs who are fast eaters and they eat too much and too quick and then end up like getting sick because of it. My roommate's dog was like that and we had to do it. You put some rocks in the dish so he can't eat it as quick. He has to move around the rocks because they're not dumb. They're not going to eat the rock. And you don't put like pebbles in. You put bigger rocks in it and it slows him down.
Problem is, you put bananas in a cat food. You mean, look, you know what your cat shit's like. Give him a bunch of bananas and then see what happens. That's not going to be fun for anybody, including the cat.
Hey, man. I can go through it. You can go through it.
I know. We went off on a tangent. Sorry. Thank you. Thanks, 77, for looking in, man. It's fun. There's
I appreciate your concern over my fat kitty.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
He's a lazy fuck.
All right, so after Black and Orly, whatever his name was.
Yeah, we get another backstage thing with Andrade and Zelina, where they were very mean to Charlie Caruso.
Oh yes, they gave her looks.
Poor Charlie. Anyways, they cut their little thing, and then we have our second women's Money in the Bank qualifier. Shayna Baszler murders Sarah Logan.
Here's the thing, man. Oh my god, that was so perfect for me because here comes and we've all seen Shayna do the hand stomp before.
Yep.
Right. It was just beautiful. Hey, seriously, buddy. Thanks for looking in. We appreciate it. Every little bit helps, my friend. But I just it was in Logan sold it so well. I just thought it was fantastic. The only bad part about it was the ring announcer making the wrong call.
Yeah.
You know, that was the only thing wrong with that whole match.
It's kind of sad too to see Sarah Logan be very just lost in the mix and all of this.
Yeah.
She was kind of like the low man on the totem pole in the Riot Squad. Now she's just getting out here jobbing out to Shayna Baszler. So
yeah.
Oh,
dude, absolutely.
Right.
Death by Shayna. Oh my God, that's a great idea. Copyright that and then send it to them as a suggestion. But you make sure you copyright it first, otherwise they'll steal it. Or the other thing they'll do is they'll spell it different and then still rip you off.
But yeah, so they're killing Sarah Logan though. Who knows what they're going to be able to do with her? She might end up just having to go back to NXT. And to be honest, I think they really hurt Shayna with that loss at Mania.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know what they can really do now with her.
Yeah.
So
the whole thing, it's a weird deal because now you got Shayna Baszler, who's still beating the hell out of everybody, but Becky Lynch, who for whatever reason is up on this high pedestal that apparently nobody can touch. And the fact of the matter is that would be like saying Brock Lesnar, you can beat the hell out of everybody, but I don't know, AJ. For whatever reason, AJ just weasels out of everything. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't be a bad.
The Royal Rumble.
Well, yeah, but
hey man, you be nice. AJ's dead. Respect him.
I know he's buried. Only his hand is alive.
Next, we got Austin Theory versus Akira Tozawa. I love Tozawa, man. This guy, he should be just way further up the card than he is. I feel so bad for him. I don't really care. I don't know much about Austin Theory other than now he's also been was in NXT for a hot minute and now is main roster. I'm very indifferent on him right now.
He's like the Mongo McMichael of the Four Horsemen. It's like he's there to fill a spot, and he'll do his job, and they probably ain't going to do anything much with him. I mean,
shit. Speaking of Mongo McMichael, peep that.
Well, there it is, Four Horsemen. I can see it. It's a bit back. You're gonna have to pick. Well, I don't know. I don't want you to ruin everything, but I see it.
Yep.
I see it.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Right there with the Father of the Year and everything.
That's awesome, buddy. Look at all this, and we'll talk about all of that, all of your memorabilia too, because you got a ton of it, and that's. So let's blow through this. We're coming up to an hour.
Yeah, man.
What else we got? What else we got?
Let's see here.
Is the next one Bobby Lashley yelling at Lana, telling her to shut up? That was my favorite part of the
No,
ring.
in between all this, you had Seth Rollins doing whatever the hell he was doing. Angel
Oh,
Gara had a match against some jobber. Kabuki Warriors did an interview. Didn't understand it.
No.
Raw. Then you had Kyrie Sound versus Nia Jax.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
which was, I liked it because you could see, I mean, Kyrie is small enough that Nia could just throw her all over the place. And I mean, that, oh my God, that was good. And it didn't make Kyrie look terrible, obviously because of the difference in size. Okay, roll on.
Charlotte did her little thing, which whatever. Bobby Lashley versus No Way Jose, which amazing that No Way Jose even got some offense in. But yeah, I like what they're doing with the Bobby Lashley and Lana probably going to be breaking up. I hope they drag it out though.
Yeah.
I hope it's nothing they do super quick.
So here's what I hope, and I don't think it'll happen because who knows what the hell they're going to do and whether Rusev will still even be around. Here's what I hope they do. I'd love to see. Well, first of all, I mean, I'd love to see Rusev over in AEW, but having said that, if he stays, because his wife has a 5-year contract or whatever the hell it is, apparently, with WWE, I'd love to see her come crawling back to him and him just tell her, you know, and have some kind of thing where she's trying to gain redemption with him. That'd be fun for me, because that's the way it should all work.
That, or if they're really not going to use Rusev and he ends up leaving, maybe tie back the Liv Morgan thing and actually let them feud about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a little more gas in the tank on that one.
Also good.
And they just did whatever they did. So,
all right.
Viking Raiders versus Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. I mean, the Viking Warriors are always a great watch.
Yep.
And yeah, so it sounds like Street Profits versus the Viking Warriors is what we're going to get.
Yep. All right, hold on. Here we go. Don't know why Charlotte was on the show. You're right. I mean, Charlotte was on to promote Charlotte, and she was on to promote NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, still, Vince thinks that Charlotte being on NXT is going to draw viewers away from AEW. And, I mean, I don't know about you guys. If AEW does AEW is where I start. And if they have a boring spot, which they haven't had a spot where I'm like, oh, I got to tune away. I got to see what's going on NXT. I don't do it. I leave it on there the whole show. And so just because Charlotte's on there against from everything that we've been taught, developmental talent, I don't have any need to go see that.
Yeah, Vince is also known for like running his big names further than they need to be run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Charlotte. Yeah. She's one of the top female talents in the locker room. So
in wrestling,
she's going to be used on all platforms because that's just how he works. So, you know, I get it too. There's no business her being there. Just keep her on NXT for now. I'd be more inclined to watch it if I knew she wasn't going to be on anything else.
Yeah, perfect sense.
Yep,
perfect sense.
Main event: McIntyre Andrade. McIntyre gets the win,
which was very, very much expected.
And then Rollins comes out, and so it makes okay. I don't like it. I don't want it. I have no interest. But who else do they have?
Right.
When you really look at the Raw roster right now, who else can go now be that feud for Drew McIntyre?
Yeah.
In the title.
I agree with you 100%. I'm not a fan of it. But they're in a spot. So
I would rather them see AJ come back and he goes to Raw. You know, him on Raw now.
Yeah.
And if he did it or something, but who knows what they're going to do with that? Who knows how they're going to bring AJ back to
How do you bring a guy back from the dead? I mean,
it worked for the Undertaker a bunch of times.
Right.
Well, do you think AJ's going to come back with a different character? Do you think it's going to be
like Goth or something?
Comes back as like Shark Boy or something.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh God.
Now we're talking. Now take my money.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. Again, I don't like it, but I get it, but that just also shows the lack of building they've been doing.
Yeah.
With that roster, I love Kevin Owens, heel or face, and I would rather see him in this title picture.
But he can't.
Yeah, but he can't. He's a face.
And he's home.
Yeah, that's right. He's staying home too. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't really.
Yeah. No, tis what it is. All right, so there we did. We're up to date. Other than the fact that if you haven't watched Being the Elite, 2 separate shows this week, 2 separate videos this week. They're both fantastically fun, and if you like AEW, you're gonna love them. And they're actually pretty long. I don't remember how long part 1 was. Over 20 minutes, I think, and part 2 is almost a half an hour. So those guys are still putting out almost as much content as AEW Dynamite is. Well, I guess half of it, but still. Yep. Point being, they're still doing it, and it's fun. And I mean, those guys are geniuses when it comes to using the social media platforms. So,
Definitely.
now that leaves us to talking with Alex.
Yep.
Alex, my friend.
Yep.
How long have you been a wrestling fan?
Oh God, I remember watching, like, when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch pro wrestling. So I remember being about 4 or so, and WCW was doing this program that was basically WCW versus the world.
Yeah.
If you guys remember that. So I remember, like, just flipping through channels, and I saw, like, it was like USA versus Japan at that point or whatever, and the Japanese team was just kicking the shit out of these Americans. And I remember just watching this, I'm like, what the hell is this? This is really, really cool. As a 4-year-old. And then my mom comes in the room, screams at me, and, like, shuts off the TV. And then I got, weeks went by or whatever, and I'd be flipping through channels. I'm like, oh, it's this thing that I've seen before. And then she'd just turn off the TV, and I just start, like, running around to, like, different TVs in the house, watching, like, a couple seconds here, a couple seconds there, and she just, like, chasing me, turning the TVs off or whatever. And then when I got older, I figured out what the hell this thing was. And I still wasn't allowed to watch it. Cut to probably about 2001 when it was leading up to and, going on with the invasion gimmick. I was actually allowed to watch it. So that was a big game changer. Hey, where'd you guys go?
Oh, I just popped you up on yourself because you were talking.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
So,
continue.
So anyways, I was actually allowed to watch it then. So that was a big game changer. And then probably about 2004, 2005, I got bored with the WWE product. I went into watching TNA. And around that same time, I started watching a lot of indie stuff, probably dating back to about maybe 2003.
Yeah.
Then going on, the big indie promotion I got into was First Wrestling.
Yeah.
And from there, oh God, I've probably gone to probably about 90% of the First Wrestling shows.
Yeah.
I've gone to deathmatch tournaments in Milwaukee. I've gone to the Hall of Fame in Waterloo. I went to Jerry Lynn's retirement show. That was freaking amazing.
Was that where X-Pac blew his asshole out?
Yes.
What?
I remember reading about that. Yeah, he did the Bronco Buster and he blew his butthole out.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
He overshot it, and he landed right on the hook of the turnbuckle.
Oh my God!
Said that he got to the hotel that night and, like, took his pants off or something. It looked like a murder scene. He, like, went straight to the ER.
Oh my God!
So Big Ace, were you there?
I wasn't there. I just remember reading about it.
Okay. Remember the first match? Luke Cox ends up going over the top rope and, like, lands real bad on the outside.
Okay.
So anyways, that happened, and that happened, like, right in front of where I was, because I was ringside.
Oh, nice.
And just Yeah, it was freaking brutal. Basically, he was running to hit the ropes, and you know how all wrestlers like grab the top rope with like their one arm or whatever. So he's trying to grab it while airborne, but then there was like a miscommunication. So the heel team was pulling down the top rope, and so as he's trying to reach down to grab the top rope while he's airborne, he just kind of goes like, "Oh shit, there's no top rope here," and just flies over it.
Oh no!
Oh my
And just
god!
lands on the outside. And apparently he got a concussion and he broke his thumb.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so I was getting an autograph from him like during intermission though, and you could just tell he was fucking out of it.
Oh man.
Kind of like Montez going over the top rope and landed on his back. That's they showed that again on Monday. Literally, that's the. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've seen, but it's like one of the worst things. Oh yeah, give us
Recognize that guy?
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you what here, Alex. I'm going to pop you up so we can look at all of your posters and memorabilia and explain it a little bit, will you?
Oh, sure. So, anyways, oh shit, my place is a little messy. So, this is one of my bookcases of wrestling DVDs. There's WrestleCon 2017, Hulk Hogan, First Wrestling. I believe that poster is from 2008. I have it signed by Eric Cannon. Four Horsemen, probably not the best incarnation. Another First Wrestling. You got a signed Bret Hart poster.
Nice.
Hell yeah. We're going to go down this hallway. Ah, shit. Move that out of the way.
There's
Give
William
you an idea
Regal.
with this whole, what?
Is that William Regal there?
Where?
In the middle.
No, that's Jerry Lynn, and that's Al Snow.
Oh, I was talking now bottom middle. I can't.
No, that's Benjamin Saylor. He wrestles as Wildcat sometimes.
Okay. Oh yeah, Wildcat.
That's Arya. That's Sean. Crap, Arya Davari.
Yep.
Yep. And Eric Cannon up there. That's a signed Necro Butcher match worn ref shirt. It's also signed by what's his name, Corporal Robinson.
Wow.
Got a bunch of signed things like WrestlePalooza posters and stuff. You know, let's see, this is that angle. Shimmer roster stuff. The Hall of Fame one. I have one from the year before, but I can't remember where the hell I put it. We got a signed Insane 8 poster. A bunch of shit there.
Good Lord, man.
Let's see. Going down this hallway.
Ace? Can you imagine all of this stuff? This is so cool.
Right.
We got this right here. We got signed Beth Phoenix.
I got that one.
Oh
That
my
one.
God.
Yep, there. Got that's Esquire's retirement match.
Oh
And he's
my
part of the
God.
firm. Let's see. We got Joey Ryan up here. We got Son of Havoc. We got this thing when Howard Anderson made an appearance in St. Louis Park. That show was weird. We got a signed Larry Hennig poster that he was selling at the Hall of Fame thing.
Wow.
We got Tremont, another local wrestling thing, WrestlePalooza. Go inside the kitchen. We have Carnage Cup 8 signed. Okay, we're going around here.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
we got some like Jim Crockett signs, whatever. We got a goddamn Nick Mondo signed thing right here.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Got a thing from reading something at Monday Night Comedy Show. Hell yeah. Got a signed Onita and Matt Tremont down here.
I love Tremont.
Got a signed AWA Championship, whatever.
Oh
Signed
my
by
God,
Greg
that is so
Gagne
cool.
and Jumpin' Jim Brunzell.
Jim, that's Vern Gagne before he killed the guy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Pre-murder.
Got more signed.
Sorry, pre-alleged murder.
Got more signed. What's it called? First Wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
ICW Milwaukee with Necro Butcher, signed by the Hart family right up there. We got.
Was that from Waterloo, the Hart family?
Hell yeah, it was.
Okay.
And then AOC, which whatever.
She's not a wrestler, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but going back to that
Jerry Lynn.
Jerry Lynn thing. That's signed by most of the people on the card. Oh shit!
Wow.
It's hard to angle that up, but that's pretty badass. If my apartment goes on fire, this is the fucking thing I'm grabbing.
Oh my God! Yes.
And we got another thing for signed. What is it called?
Insane 8.
Insane 8. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Got signed Summer Slaughter, Colt Cabana. Let's see.
Hold up that Colt one.
Yeah.
If you can. I don't know if I've ever seen that one. Gosh.
For Colt.
Cartoon Colt.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
This bookcase right here, well, kind of hard to angle it. That's all pro wrestling stuff. Down there's pro wrestling.
Oh my God.
Bookcases of this shit. Let's see. Goldberg statue still in there. Danny Havoc signed. That Bauhaus Brewing thing right there.
Yeah.
That wasn't actually for sale. I ripped it off of the wall.
Nice.
So I might be one of the only people that has that one, but that's I can't remember if I got Matt Cross to sign that one yet, but for sure it's signed by Airwolf. Got another Bauhaus one, more first wrestling stuff.
So now the from the Bauhaus show,
yeah,
didn't you get a Jimmy Havoc or that had Eric Cannon's blood or vice versa on it?
Yeah, so it was God, what was his name? It was the British wrestler. Was he Australian?
Oh,
he's dating Penelope Ford.
Kip Saban.
Yeah, that guy. So basically, what's his name? Jimmy Havoc used Kip Saban's 8x10 to give Eric Cannon paper cuts in between the webbings of his fingers.
Ah.
And then he used that in the hardcore match and wandered off. And Jimmy Havoc wasn't selling 8x10, so I remember I asked the referee or the camera person or whatever, like, "Hey man, can you grab me that 8x10?" And they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Here, so I actually have that in a 3-ring binder someplace.
Oh my God.
But so then after the match, I walk up to Jimmy Havoc, who's selling merchandise, and I'm like, "Hey man, will you sign my 8x10?" And he's just like, at first he's like, "Why do you have a Kip Saban 8x10?" And then turn it over, showing that it's bloody. And he's like, "What the fuck?" So he signs that. Then later on, I get Eric Cannon to sign it. I'm handing it to Eric Cannon. He goes like, "Well, but this isn't of me." And then Brenna turns it over, and he's like, "Holy fuck!" So that's something.
Yeah.
Got the Ninja Turtles where they dressed up as different wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
I got the second series of those, I think.
Yep. Got more bookcases of wrestling DVDs right over here.
Oh my God. You'll never ever be able to watch them all, dude.
Watch most of them. Let's see. I got more signed stuff up here. I got a Jerry Lynn one that's just signed by Jerry Lynn right there. That's Son of Havoc. And that's the stuff that I have hung up.
Oh my God, dude.
I mean, I have more stuff to hang up, and I probably have 3 binders. Let's see if I can find the binders.
I just love this. I just love it. It's literally, you are like
this is all pro wrestling books down here.
Books. Oh
That's
my God.
books. I have signed masks. Let's see. This is Ultimo Dragon. There's the signature.
You got an
there.
Ultimo Dragon mask? Holy crap!
Signed by Ultimo Dragon player. Then this one.
Was that in Waterloo as well?
Yeah. No, I got that one signed at WrestlePalooza.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Got a Fire Ant signed one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet God, dude.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out where the hell I put the binders. Because I have binders of 8x10s though, but my place is a little disorganized. If you haven't,
But don't worry about it, man. Don't kill yourself over it.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of my collection for the most part.
It's just fantastic. So when did you? I mean, you talked a little bit when you started watching wrestling when you were younger, but when did you actually start collecting stuff, Alex?
I started getting this stuff back when I was, let's see, my first wrestling, what's it called, DVD was Royal Rumble 2000.
Okay.
And I probably was oh shit, probably 2002 when that happened. And I tried getting a bunch of the WWE ones before, when they're still WWF, because the name change, I knew that those would be really hard to get. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I found one of the binders.
Oh,
So check
my
this out.
God.
Got
Awesome.
let's see. I drew that. Let's see. Got this. Sodbuster Kenny J.
Oh, my God.
Austin Aries. Austin Starr. Bash. Colt Cabana. Beer Money. Remember her?
Ruby Riott, right?
Yeah.
Before she was Ruby Riott, right?
Hell yeah. This guy was a security guard at my high school.
Get out of here.
Hell yeah, man. There's another Ruby Riott and Brookstone. That dude, Chikara dude, Blue Meanie, the Boar of Manitoba, Eric Can. This one, oh shoot, still repping MTV. I think I have an 8x10 of his that he's advertising as MySpace. Eddie Kingston, Derek Corbin, Ryan Cruz. I got a referee one. Got Daphne right there.
God, dude.
Daphne, Diamond Dallas Page, Tommy
D.
Dreamer. Another that.
JJ.
TJ Dillon. Yep. Thank you. Brody Hooper. That one's. God damn it! I think that was signed by him. I don't think it was signed by X-Pac. That's Luke Hawx. He signed that when he had a fucking concussion. Whatever her name is, I can't remember. Daisy Hayes.
She has bad penmanship if you can't see it by the.
Dude, I have some stuff from Mania weekends, like shirts signed by different people at Accesses, and I can't tell you who half of them are anymore.
Yeah, this one was actually kind of cool though. Daisy Hayes. I was actually kind of talking down about myself being such a nerd, and she wrote, "Keep your head up." It's like, oh, that's nice. Venom when he was still a big guy. Horace the Psychopath. He's retired. There's another Horace. Pete Hughes. The Davari brothers.
Oh yeah.
I think should have got signed by Sean, but whatever. Iron Sheik. Venom when he was smaller. Old IWA Mid-South thing, another IWA Mid-South deal. Rob James, another
Jumping Catfish, man. This is crazy.
Let's see. Zach James, I saw him wrestle like once at the first wrestling show I went to. Veda Scott.
Who's Zach James?
I saw him wrestle one time at the first. Let's see if I can actually flip this. Let's see if this. There we go. This actually makes the angling a lot better on my part.
Oh yeah.
So Zach James, he wrestled at the first wrestling show that I went to, and after that, I never saw him wrestle again. His entrance music was the Power Rangers theme song.
Oh wow. Now Veda Scott, so was that when they brought an ROH show? Like they used to do shows here. Well, used to over in St. Louis Park, right?
St. Louis Park. What are you saying? They did shows in Hopkins.
Okay. Yeah, Hopkins. Yeah, that's right.
In the St. Paul Armory. I haven't been to the Hopkins ones. I saw her when they brought her in for First Wrestling.
Whatever happened to Veda Scott?
Oh, she's still around. She's actually on Instagram talking about like, yeah, I'm walking around in my ring gear at home because I can't freaking wrestle, because of the freaking corona.
Oh yeah.
Kai.
I always felt like she was really an interesting character when I saw her on ROH.
Yep.
But I as much as she's a nice person, apparently, I don't know. She was never the best wrestler, but she was really good at talking.
Yep.
And playing her character.
Oh yeah.
Is that the Fallen Angel?
No, Raven Knight.
Looks. There you go.
Yeah, that dude. So yeah, that's that. That is. Oh shit! I'm not quite sure who that is. That's something.
It's awesome, man. It's absolutely. Oh, Conan.
Conan. Yep. That is signed by Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
Mickey Knuckles, Moose from TNA. Mickey. Mickey, Eugene.
Oh yeah. He's a
Yep.
South Dakota boy, right?
Hell yeah. Got Lacey.
Holy cow! And you get two more full books, yeah?
I have a few more of them. Yeah. Got
Oh my god.
Venom. Got the Leprechaun who was Crash Holly.
Oh, no kidding.
Crash Holly back in the day. Now he's dead.
So that's worth another quarter.
Yeah.
Probably 50 cents if I'm lucky.
There you
That's
go.
God, I can never pronounce that guy's name correctly.
I can't see it.
Kikutaro or something.
Kikakutu or Kikakutu.
That guy. Yeah, I always butcher it.
I only know him because of the Wrestling Road Diaries, but Cabana, third one he did.
Jay Lethal.
Oh, nice.
The Lightning Kid. Yeah. Alice in Wonderland. Awesome stage name. Jerry Lynn. Got another Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
More Jerry Lynn.
Very cool, buddy.
Yep. That's Kentucky Buffet. Yeah, I'm not sure. Jerry Lynn. Thunderbolt Patterson.
Oh, who's that guy?
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I thought.
Anyway.
No, someone.
Hall of Famer.
Nikki Mayday.
Gosh,
Yeah,
so
I'm
cool,
not
dude.
sure. Santino.
Oh yeah.
Cody O'Neill. Got lost my train of thought on who this guy is. Fuck.
He looks bad.
Ring of Honor guy, Adam Pearce.
Oh, okay.
Scrap Daddy.
Yeah, yep. Eugene, Queen Yvonne Curves,
Burr.
Queen Yvonne Curves, or Queen Yvonne Curves. This is a theme. Yep,
You kind of got afflicted with that one, huh?
most definitely. Yeah, a man with tanks. Ian Rodden.
Oh my gosh.
More Ian. Got Rhino right there.
Yeah.
Got New Jack.
Oh my god.
New
Dude.
Jack was the one wrestler that I was fucking terrified of meeting. Because when I got his autograph or whatever, I was asking the people at the merch tables, like, how much is the New Jack autograph? And they're like, I don't know, you have to ask him. I was like, where is he? At the bar. I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then he walks back to the merch table. The merch table person points at me. Back then, I was a lot larger. So New Jack's walking towards me, and I'm thinking, like, oh, fuck.
He's going to kill me.
Yeah, because at the time, I was like over 400 pounds, and I was thinking, like, oh, shit, he's just going to see me, have PTSD, have like a flashback to mass
that
transit.
motherfucking mass transit?
He reaches out his hand to shake mine. I look at it for a split second, and I start shaking it. And the first thing that pops in my head is, oh, fuck, I'm in striking range now.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah. Got Benjamin Saylor, Sabu, another Sabu. And then let's see, we're going to go over here. I bought
Alex, out of all your autographed photos, what would you say would be your most prized?
Oh, look at that SummerSlam
Oh my
99.
God!
Yeah, I bought that off of a guy that was there.
And he didn't want to haul it back to the parking lot.
Well, what happened was I bought it from a guy that was that I know that went there because like when that happened, I was like 11.
Oh my God!
But no, what happened was he was tearing down his wrestling stuff, and I got it from him for like $100 or something.
Oh wow!
So I'm like, hell yeah.
Right?
But so yeah, I'm actually trying to figure out a way to hang it up from the ceiling so it'd be like angling.
I actually
That'd be pretty badass.
I just broke my elimination chamber chair
How'd you manage that?
because I use it every day now that I work from home. It's where my computer. It's what I'm sitting on right now, and the foot bar in the front. I just always put my feet on it, and they're not very sturdy chairs. So
You were sitting on your memorabilia. What the hell, man?
hey, man,
I mean, like, that chair still looks basically perfect. I mean, the only belt I actually have, singular I have, is like a cheap one from like Walmart. That's like a $15 one. I bought it because I was doing some like open mic that I was trying to do like a themed character or whatever, and it's just that piece of shit. So it's like, whatever.
I had the NWA, then WCW, then WW E heavyweight, the all gold championship.
Yep.
I had that replica. I sadly sold that a few years ago.
The hard part about belts is that now there's all sorts of people making them, you know. And if you go and look, I mean, obviously you got your main makers, Milliken and some of those other guys will make them. But
Go on.
yeah.
No, I just dropped something. Go on.
Okay, I thought you were yelling at me.
No, I wasn't yelling at you.
But now if you go and look, because I always wanted to have a Georgia Championship Wrestling TV title belt because of the paint. It's a silver and it's painted over and it's very, very cool. I always thought. Well, now they make them, but they're like the ones that are made in India, and they make them, and they're not exactly right, but they're like they suffice, and it's like, So I just always kind of felt like it's not a real replica; it's like a knockoff replica, even if that makes any sense.
Oh, I totally.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get them from the right places. So out of all the stuff you have, what is the?
I'd say probably the coolest thing that I have is the what's it called? The poster from the Jerry Lynn retirement show, just because it's signed by so many former ECW people and whatever.
Right.
Although I will say though, is like as far as like recent memorabilia stuff that I got, this is one of the more insane things that I got. Let's see. Come on, load. You see this? This is the Soul Man Rocky Johnson book.
Wow.
Now you know what makes this so weird, so hard to find, or whatever.
Tell me.
Because this was just published within the last like year or two, done by Scott Tell, who does a bunch of good wrestling shit. Anyways, for some reason, this book got recalled.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it basically got scrubbed from online. If you can find it on eBay, they wanted like a mint for it for a while. I'm a member of a few wrestling book clubs, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're recalling this." I'm like, "Oh shit!" So then I actually called up a few Barnes and Nobles, just like, "Hey, do you still have this? Like, do you still have this book or whatever?" I remember going to my local one, seeing that this was one of the few wrestling books that they had. So then I went back there about 2 weeks later to see if I could buy it, and it wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
So then they actually called me back and they told me that that they still had a copy in whatever Barnes and Noble. So I drove across town or whatever, and I went there to buy it. And lo and behold, they already took it off the shelves. So I'm a very polite person though. So what the bookseller did was they went in the back, found the book because it was still in the back, and they're like, "Here you go." I'm like, "Awesome!" So then I go to the front, and I buy this thing. And as they're ringing me up, they're like, "This book was recalled. Because of that, you can't return it." I'm like, "That's cool. I'm good with that."
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so I got a book. That book just like under the wire. There is another book that was published. Let's see.
I'm just reading this. IWGP heavyweight title belt. That's a very ornate belt, and yeah, like you said, a lot of Pakistan, India making those belts.
I'll tell you what, I used to bring mine to shows back in the day, and no, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass bringing those things. When you go to shows and you see those guys they're wearing 3 of them, 2 around their necks and then 1 on each arm, and it's just like, first of all, where'd you get the money for all that shit?
Yeah.
Second of all,
Like, I'm a wrestling nerd, and I think that those people are dorks.
yeah,
I mean, the only reason why I would bring a belt to a show is if I knew like some like former holder of the belt was there, and I was trying to get signed by him.
yeah.
If I'm just going to some random ass indie show, I'm not bringing a WWE Winged Eagle belt there. It's like, that's dumb. But then there's a book though that I'm trying to get my hands on, but I've heard it's damn near impossible to like get your hands on it. It was published in, I think it was 2015. It was the Iron Sheik's autobiography. It was called Jabroni.
Mm.
And for some reason, it just didn't make it to print, but there's like advanced reader copies out there someplace.
Nice.
I mean, that would be pretty cool, though. But at the same time, though, it's like I don't know. I haven't really seen one for sale out in the wild. And in all honesty, that like I don't have really the money at one point to buy title belts.
Yeah.
Because like all the stuff that I have is like $20 here, $20 there, sort of thing. So in my mind, it's a little bit more affordable than if I really broke down how much money I've spent total. I could probably buy like a duffel bag full of belts probably, but I can rationalize it in my mind. So I was like, oh, I won't spend that much, but I'm sure if I did all the accounting, it'd be fucking terrifying.
Oh my god!
If I added up all the money I've spent on memorabilia, tickets, just hotels, planes, all that stuff because of wrestling things, like, oh my god, I would never want to see that number. Mass, do you have any memorabilia or anything like a prized possession that has to do with wrestling?
You know what? I don't have. So the things that I used to have when I was younger that I don't have any longer. I used to have. I had a signed Haystacks Calhoun picture.
Ooh.
I had
How did you get that?
I went to the show back in 1970, probably 3, 4, 5, somewhere in that neighborhood. My aunt took me because my father would not do it. But my aunt took I and my sister, and we got a Haystacks Calhoun. We got a Viking who was not like the Viking Raiders, but his whole thing was he was a white-haired dude with a beard, and he had the in essence, it was the Asiatic spike, but it was a Viking spike or whatever. A guy named the Mongolian Stomper, who I later found out was named like Ed something or other. But we had those three that were signed, and the Haystacks Calhoun one was probably my most prized thing, and then of course as you get older and other things happen, I don't know, I had no idea where that would have gone. Probably got thrown out. And unfortunately, I've not collected wrestling memorabilia. It's for me. I don't get to go to as much stuff as you guys do, but when I do get to go, I enjoy it thoroughly. So I will say this: Ace bought me one of the kitty belts when we went to TLC.
You still have it?
Yeah, I got it
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, better be on your wall.
Oh, it's not on my wall. It's over here by my desk. Hold on, I'll yank it. Hold on, stand by. Hold on. There it is, brothers.
The champ.
But now it's too big and it doesn't look like it. There we go, brothers. Oh, my green screen.
Well, now you can start your collection.
My collection starts with this, but it's nice because I can get it around my thigh.
There you go. Perfect.
It's just the right size, so I don't put it back there because I can't get it under back. Anyway,
I have so much stuff that I have just packed away that I don't have up that I would like to someday. But I don't know, man. Like the only two signatures that I have that I'm like really like.
Yeah, those belt collecting people are insane.
Yeah, they are. They're very.
And well, like if
it's
you get
cool, but I mean, like, holy shit.
In order to get a legitimate belt, it's like those are like thousands of dollars. And to me, it's like I always feel like I don't want to get a replica. I want to get like one of the real ones.
Well, I mean, there's a thing that's like the replica could be like what $300, but then there are people that get like what you call like the duplicate.
Yeah.
Which is like like the legit shit. Those people are insane. I mean, it's cool, but holy crap, it's like $1,000 easily for a belt. Like,
right.
Like that's rent.
One of the belts that when I was after a actual really and truly used, because they use more than one of them sometimes. They recycle. One of the because I grew up watching Central States Wrestling out of Kansas City when I lived in Des Moines, Iowa when I was a kid. And one of the belts they had there, because they don't make replicas of goddamn Central States, but I found one. They wanted $11,000 for it. Jesus. And I'm like, well, I can always come and look at the picture. You know, but it's absolutely insane.
I got to hold the Usos tag titles once while they were throwing up first pitch out. I wanted
no
to go.
kidding.
I wanted to take it. Just run.
Where'd they throw the first pitch out at?
It was a Honkers game
Honkers?
here. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Because they were with us for the station doing it. So
Oh, yeah.
we were
Very
with them,
cool.
and they were like, "Here, hold these for us while we go do this." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll hold your titles."
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
hold them.
A while ago, when I got New Jack's autograph, it was at that event. It was called Crushed 2. It took place at Mill City Nights in Minneapolis.
Okay.
It's now under a different name or whatever. Anyways, so I have I have a trash can. I think I might have a trash can lid from that show someplace. But anyways, so New Jack comes in at the main event. He's only there for like the last couple minutes or whatever. Staple guns a few people, hit somebody with a chair, and somehow he wins a match that he wasn't in.
Yep.
New Jack. Anyway, he left his staple gun in the ring. So I fucking took the staple gun.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I remember I grabbed the trash can lid. I walk out, and then I turn around and I realize the staple gun's really close to the side of the ring. I'm like, oh shit. So I go and grab it. I put it in my hoodie pocket, and I run into my buddy or whatever that's just staying in the venue, and just kept pointing in my pocket. Look what I got! And I start realizing oh shit, people might think I have a gun or something. So then I go and get on the light rail or whatever. I'm talking to some fan. I'm like, check out what I got. And then I opened the thing up, and the thing was completely unloaded. So he was just miming that he was staple gunning people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I feel like it was a little bit of a letdown, but whatever.
You still got the prop.
Oh hell yeah, and it's one of those deals of I just know that might be New Jack staple gun though, so I guarantee he was probably in the back. It's like, where's my staple gun? God damn it!
Right.
Some motherfucker's gonna get cut.
Yeah, needless to say, if I ever get an opportunity to meet him again, I'm not going to try to get him to sign that. That's a little poorly for me.
He probably forgets he smokes a lot.
Oh shit! I just saw this. Got this isn't a piece of memorabilia, but this is just me from what is it, 6th grade or so.
All right.
Let's see, just a second.
Nice.
Nice.
Ventura, hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Alex the body.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect. Well, guys, we're at an hour and 40 minutes. And this, honestly, God, Alex, so much fun looking at all your stuff.
Thanks.
And,
yeah, one of these days, when the coronavirus is down, was all the way, taking care of those. Feel free to come over anytime. I'll show you this shit in person.
Oh God, yeah.
Hopefully, I'll have more of the stuff hung up though, because that's been kind of my coronavirus project though, just rehanging stuff. Because I have a collection, might as well display it.
I know. I finally hung up the one Stein thing that I actually have hanging, my Undertaker Schamberger print.
Oh, yeah.
I have a really nice limited edition Schamberger print that he signed of Taker that I got signed the day before the streak broke from Taker. Hanging on my wall, so that's really cool. Yeah, I was like, I got nothing else to do. I might as well hang a couple of these things up. So I hung that up. I hung my Gabriel Iglesias autograph picture of me and my brother from years ago that I got him to sign when we were on the cruise. Yeah. I'm looking at my walls the last couple of weeks, I should do stuff now that I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
Be active. Maybe put some of the stuff up.
Sounds like a All right, boys. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't need to review WrestleMania 3. Unless you want to. Unless you think we can do it in 4 minutes. I'm getting tired. No, I don't know. What do you
say though? I was it. God, I can't remember his name now. But there was this one guy, Jimmy Jack Hayes, or God,
Billy Jack Hayes.
Billy Jack Hayes. Yeah, doesn't he look like a roided out version of Jack Black? I noticed that.
Kinda.
I watched about 60% of that show with my dad, and my dad's not a wrestling fan, but I found a lot of joy of just pointing out all the dead people to him.
Yeah.
There was a move that was done in the Quebecers match. The Quebecers pick a guy up. It was almost in a heart attack or something. And the guy comes down on a senton on him or whatever, right? But I just saw that, and just the first thing that popped in my head is like, oh my god, he just took the guy's dong to the face. It's like, what the hell was that? It didn't really look painful. It just looked like kind of gross. Like, what the hell? So that was basically what my takeaway from it was. And then I rewatched the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant thing.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, I forgot about the part where Hulk Hogan tried teasing that he was going to pile drive the Giant, which is like, that's not going to work.
Oh, yeah.
And then he takes the most ginger backdrop I've ever freaking seen.
Yeah. You want to? By the way, Ace, do you want to just run through the whole card and we'll hit it?
Okay. Yep.
And we'll just go ahead and just say a couple words about what you thought about it if you got to watch that match.
Yep.
So the Can-Am Connection, which is Rick E. Martel and Tom Zink, defeated Bob Orton and the Magnificent Morocco with Mr. Fuji.
And I'll just say this. It reminded me how much I liked Magnificent Morocco back in his heyday. He was one of the best turds WWF had to offer.
Martel,
and of course,
was a stud too.
Pardon me?
Martel was a stud then too.
Oh God, yeah. Became Rick the Model, of course.
Yep, with arrogance. Hell yeah.
Oh God, but it's so cool to see him back. Like, it's not really Morocco's heyday. He's getting towards the end there.
Yeah.
But Cowboy Bob, good guy, and we've talked about this before. I used to watch his father in Central States. He was just Bob Orton. And yep. I'm surprised that Randy Orton's not Bob Orton, to be honest. But, okay, next match.
Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules with Bobby Heenan ended in a double countout.
Yeah, Hercules, as I recall, was I mean, he came to the to the ring all the time with those big thick chains.
Yep.
And he was a built dude. He kind of reminded me of Bruiser Brody a little bit, like a poor man's Bruiser Brody. But as I recall, it was a fair match.
Yeah, it was all right. Anything with Bobby Heenan involved in there.
Yeah.
The third match on there was Haiti Kid, Hillbilly Jim, and Little Beaver against King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Littlebrook.
Okay, this match had the most dead people in it that I could think of. Yeah. First off. Second of all, this match just did not make any sense to me because Little Beaver was pretty much doing all these heel spots, even though he's supposed to be on the face team.
It was one of the most confusing frickin' matches I ever saw, and it's the first time I ever saw somebody as big as Bundy like actually pull a move on a little person, which I was absolutely mortified and shocked, but it was pretty good.
I think that was the shortest match of the night. I think it was 3 minutes and 20 minutes.
Shortest.
Right. Next, we had a Harley Race with Bobby Heenan and the Fabulous Moolah against Junkyard Dog. Loser must bow match.
Yeah, it was King Harley Race at that time too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Race is another guy that was all the time. He was out of Kansas City, Central States. He was there all the time. He was the Nick Bockwinkel down in Kansas City, and he was so good at it. Of course, it's his storied career, but I love the fact that he worked with Junkyard Dog, and I to be honest, I was reminded that Sherry Martel worked with him too.
Yep.
And she's just a crazy nut, but I loved the whole thing.
Yeah, I loved JYD. When I was watching it with my dad, though, my dad just kept telling me, he's like, when JYD gets on all fours and starts headbutting Harley Race, my dad just kept going like, those headbutts don't look like they'd hurt very much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's another, I have a pretty good condition LGN Junkyard Dog figure that I'm
nice.
Next, we had the Dream Team, Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Greg Valentine with Dino Bravo and Johnny Valiant they beat the Rougeau brothers, Jacques Rougeau and Raymond Rougeau. Now, one of these Rougeaus, Jacques Rougeau, does French commentary, am I right?
Yep.
One of them had a really weird run-in with the Dynamite Kid back in the day, and I guess he knocked out some of the Dynamite Kid's teeth.
Ooh.
Yeah. He talked about that in, his autobiography. I can't remember what it's called now. Pure Dynamite, I believe. And then there was a shoot interview that one of the Rougeau brothers did about that as well.
Nice.
Yep.
It was all right. Dude, I like Greg the Hammer Valentine, but I was never on the beefcake train.
No.
So it was hard.
Yeah, didn't he ditch Beefcake in the ring after that match, though?
Yeah. They just left him, and he was just.
I thought that was so funny. He's like, "Don't leave me." It's like, I don't think he's like, you can just walk behind him. They're not going very fast.
It was
You
so
can
weird.
catch up with them.
It was so weird. Next was a hair versus. Well, that, and I think, he should have just stayed out there because he ends up coming back for the hair versus hair match of Rowdy Piper against Adrian Adonis with Jimmy Hart. Obviously, Adrian Adonis loses,
and of course that was advertised as Piper's retirement match.
Mm-hmm.
And as you recall, the build up to that with the Adrian Adonis flower shop overtaking the Piper's Pit, that whole thing was fantastic, and it's honestly it's worth going back and a lot of that is in those. They've got Rowdy Piper's greatest hits or stuff like that, and it's so much fun to watch that.
Yeah. Next we had Dangerous Danny Davis and the Hart Foundation against the British Bulldogs with Tito Santana. Man, when I was a kid, I loved Tito Santana.
Tito Santana was the guy all the girls loved back then, and all the mothers.
Yeah,
I guess they were girls too at heart.
That was my dude. What year was this?
87.
87.
Yep.
So like WrestleMania 2, I vaguely remember watching. I have memories of the boxing match, T and Piper. This is the first Mania that I do remember watching.
WrestleMania. So I can tell you this: WrestleMania 1 was huge and fantastic. And WrestleMania rode on the coattails of that because I think a lot of people were. I mean, you're like, oh, wrestling, and they became, as the term is, casual fans.
Yep.
But I think WrestleMania 2 was kind of not nearly as good as 1. But 3, they popped up the product again, and I think that's the one that really, brought it back. And all the stories about the fact that Vince was going all basically like the Bucks and Cody all in on WrestleMania. He could have had a big problem with number 2. But anyway,
speaking of all in, I remember seeing some internet posts. This is a while ago. That said that the original All In was in 1986 in Missy Hyatt's hotel room. I read that like a year ago and it just stuck with me.
There you go.
Okay, next we had Butch Reed with Slick versus Coco Beware the Birdman. Another short one. Next we have a Ricky Steamboat with George the Animal Steel with Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. Obviously, this is probably match of the whole night.
Yeah.
Still considered possibly one of the best matches ever. And it rightfully so. There's a valid argument to that match.
I remember before I watched it that Miss Elizabeth was with Mach, but I did not remember that George the Animal Steel was hounding her like he did, and he hounded her for months.
Yep.
And that reminded me of that, and I'm like, oh my god, that was so cool. It's in essence, it was modern day Otis or old timey Otis. But anyway,
and it was just it was for the Intercontinental Championship. It was kind of because back in those days you had your match and then the finish. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like all these were pretty predictable, whatever. That was the only match watching this back where it was like, near finish. Ooh, another near finish. Ooh, another near finish. Like they really did go back and forth in this one. And it was still one of the greatest matches ever. Next match, Jake the Snake Roberts with Alice Cooper against some asshole with Jimmy Hart.
He doesn't like the honky tonk, man, Alex. I to be honest with you, I absolutely totally forgot that Alice Cooper was with Jake, and Alice Cooper acted like he could have given 3 shits that he was there.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a promo before the match, and it's like Alice Cooper's like, "Yeah, we're gonna kick some ass," and it's like, but then I watched Jesus Christ Superstar, the replay of the live on Sunday, and it's like maybe that's just how Alice Cooper is, because he played Herod on that. I don't know. I'm mixing entertainment. It's hard. But that's the thing that stood out to me. It was like Alex Cooper doesn't give a shit that he's here.
No, not at all. Plus, they didn't really even get you'd think he would have been involved with taking Damien out and throwing him on Honky Tonk Man, but he was out of the ring before the snake was out.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and while we're talking about that, let's bring up Bob Uecker and Mary Hart were the celebrity colored people. And they were so enthusiastic and didn't know shit about what was going on. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I love Bob Uecker. That guy's mine.
Hey, I'm going to go down and spend some time with Moolah. I mean, that was Harry Carey doing it, but I can't do Bob Uecker.
So next we have Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov with Slick, which Slick was a very underrated manager back in the day. I always liked Slick. Against the Killer Bees, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell and Brian B. Blair.
Brian Blair.
Yeah.
Say it right, man. Say it right or get him piss me off.
I know. I should know that. I mean, I know him pretty well now, so I should know how to say his name right.
He retired last year at Waterloo.
So if you watch the Briscoe and Big A show, when we recap our weekend, it was me, Wes Briscoe, and B. Brian Blair when we overheard the orgy party or swinger party that was going on Wes's floor of the hotel at Waterloo last year.
Yay!
That was interesting.
Yay!
I just thought it was interesting at that one show. So Victoria announced that she was going to be retiring at the end of the year. Then, the next match or the match after that is B. Brian Blair's I'm retiring after this match. And
Yep.
I was expecting the main event is I'm retiring right now. I'm not even wrestling this match.
Right. Yeah. We had Maddie Starr on the show a couple weeks ago who was involved in that retirement. He's the one that got in the ring when Blair turned on everybody at the end of that match. And then we got our main event, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant with Bobby the Heenan for the title. The iconic immovable object against the irresistible force.
Yep.
Body slam heard around the world.
Yep.
Hulkamania was born. And again, this is I'm a youngster when I'm watching this. I'm freaking 5 or something.
Yeah.
So I'm all in. I'm all Hogan, woo.
Wasn't Hulkamania born when he beat the Iron Sheik for the title?
Yeah, but that's
Hulkamania is honestly
was,
Hulkamania. Yeah, I mean, you go back. Hulkamania was back with Mean Gene at the AWA. I mean, they were doing that shit before there. But in terms of, I mean, honestly, they were trying to do it. But I think you're right in terms of with WWF when he beat that, they really started pounding that Hulkamania, made in the USA stuff.
Or at least with the revised history that the WWE likes to present.
Yeah. But you
know what? No, they never met before in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's amazing to me that Andre the Giant loved that business so much that when he was in so much anguish physically that he still went through it the whole thing. And I mean,
speaking of isn't that Hogan pinning you in the background?
No, that's the Golden Warrior or whatever the hell his name is. Starman. In hindsight, I really wish it would have been somebody else other than Hogan, but honestly, at the time, it certainly couldn't have been anybody else. And as we've talked about, or I've talked about many times, I with Piper's first retirement, that's a guy I wish that the WWF would have allowed to win a championship and be a champion as a heel. and they never did. I mean, did Piper even ever hold the Intercontinental belt? Did Piper ever hold a belt? You
I
know?
think he had a shot at the IC once. He might have held it once. I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean, he was.
It was. I'm 100% agreeing with you. I really like. I mean, that would have been amazing. It was well deserved, but it was such. It was the best time and the worst time for him because it definitely made a name for Piper, and someone had to make Hogan and Mr. T and all that look good. But it was in the day of like things were now coming on cable and MTV, and there was a bigger audience. You're gonna have the good guys win, especially in this, in that period where it's kayfabe still kind of real and all that stuff. Like, there was just no way Piper was coming out of that winning because that was the big push into becoming a worldwide thing for WWE at the time. So it sucks that it was that, but
anyway,
its purpose, I guess.
It did. Grade wise, WrestleMania 3 for me, there were only a couple of sort of dud matches. And again, I watching it without all the context of the storylines, because back then they did a really good job of building for that pay-per-view and for the other ones, by the way. So I would say I'm gonna give that one. I'm gonna say an A-. Alex, what do you think?
From the matches that I saw with my dad, I didn't watch Flair, Macho Man. I didn't see Coco Beware. One with Alice Cooper. There was a handful of ones I didn't see, but from what I saw, I would say it was probably about a B+, but in that range.
Yeah, I'm going to go B+ as well. And of course, this was also attendance record setting event. They claim it was like what 80 something.
93 wasn't it?
93,000 something.
It's believed to be that it was over 78,000. Let's see here. It was between 93 and 94,000. It was they claim.
What are you saying that they inflated it?
Of course not. Of course they didn't. WWE would never lie about their numbers.
I don't know. I mean, I once did a show with 72,000 people.
Me too.
In a room that holds 150.
We just did it right now.
Always, every week.
Yeah. So I guarantee you one thing not coming out of his mouth this week is good shit. It's been a rough week for him.
That's right. That's right.
Dealing with all this stuff. So, yeah, man, we'll have to figure out our next one now that we finally got through WrestleMania 3 for the old school review.
Took us 4 weeks.
It did.
Took us 4 weeks, Alex. We do this old school review, and it's like, oh yeah, we can do it now since we got a lot of time on our hands. And I'm like, no, because we've had guests with us the last 3 weeks, and we've had so much fun and gone so far, much longer than we ever planned. I mean, we're coming up on 2 hours now.
Yep. Yeah, I think we got to figure out a way to trim the weekly shows stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if you're are you looking for another idea for the classic review?
Yeah.
We're always open to ideas for that.
You guys ever watch Heroes of Wrestling?
Oh, is that? Yes.
Is it on YouTube?
That's the one when Jake is hammered right?
Yeah, well, Jake hammered quite a bit. It was in the year 2000. They had Yokozuna, like, toward the very end. They had, like, Abdul the Butcher versus One Man Gang. It was just a shit show.
It was.
Yeah. So if you want Mystery Science Theater to that, though, that could be, something,
Oh, my God. And we could do that if you want to. I don't know, Ace. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm open to anything.
We just got to be able to find it and watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube.
Just Heroes of Wrestling, and it's not. I can tell you this because I know I've watched it already before. It's not the greatest quality, but it is, as Alex said, it is one gigantic shit show.
Yeah, if you can find it, I'll watch it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Send me let's see, you're watching on YouTube. Send me a message or something, Smark, and we'll get you hooked up. We always love to have people that are on that enjoy wrestling, and we'd love to see some of your collection too. Like Al, I mean, that's the thing to me. It's so cool. Because I'm like, this happens to me a lot. I feel like, oh, I know a lot about wrestling, but I'm like, I don't know shit about wrestling.
Well, there's times it's like I think I'm a know-it-all, and then I go to, was it Waterloo, and they have like the wrestling trivia, and I'm thinking like I am just going to walk in and fucking win this thing, and like all of a sudden like I don't score any points on that shit, and then it's like, how do these people know this stuff?
Hard. That quiz was hard.
It was insane.
Hard enough that halfway through I just started getting drunk because I was like, screw this quiz. I'm not gonna win this shit. Yeah. Anyways,
but yeah,
Smackdown. Send us something on YouTube, or find us on Twitter, or we have a Facebook page too.
Yep, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We're on any of those, and I think there's probably like a for inquiries email on YouTube, because that's where you're watching. Go ahead and send an email there, and we'll get you hooked up. We'd love to talk to you.
Do you think Michael
sounds good, buddy?
Is on Twitch?
He can whatever. What? Say again?
Do you think Michael J. Fox is on Twitch?
Michael J. Fox is on everything. A little shaky, but on everything. All right. Don't love this softball stuff.
I don't know what else you got going on. I know you got some stuff going on this week as far as your videos and streams, Matt. But I know Thursday, as of right now, the new Briscoe Big Ace will be live on YouTube. So
nice. For me, without a mask, if you want to watch me without a mask, every day at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Time in the U.S., I'm interviewing a comic for about an hour. And you can find that on Goonies Comedy Club Facebook page, or John Russell Facebook page. You'll track it down, but I don't like to leave any information because I don't want to get in trouble. Anyway, the point is, that's what I got. I was last week, since our last show, I had a show at the Grand Casino up in Hinckley that was scheduled for May 16th for the annual Jokes and Pokes convention. It's a tattoo convention, and I was scheduled to perform up there for an hour for the tattooed folks, because I got one and I look like I should have more. But he held on as long as he could, and we ended up canceling it on I think Thursday last week. So hopefully that will be rescheduled. Otherwise, my next possible performance is to headline down at Goonies Comedy Club on June the 6th. So we'll see if that happens. Chances are it won't. So that'll make me sad, but that's how it goes. How about you, Alex? You got anything coming up that, or your social media that you'd like to post?
I have a few things coming up, but they're probably not going to happen, so I'm not going to worry about that. But the best way to find me on social media is facebook.com/the one, the only, the Jaffe, and check out my Filter Free America podcast episode. America, and that is spelled with a K. I go out and talk about my weight loss surgery and a bunch of other crazy shit. With
Joey Vincent.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. I'll have to look that up myself. For those of you who are watching Smackdown, man, we appreciate you watching. Means a lot to us that you did. Everybody else that was watching off and on during the show, thank you so much. Means a lot to us. Subscribe, share, be nice to us. We don't have anything else to do. We're stuck at home like you all are. Anyway, folks, next week we will see you again. Big Ace, thank you, sir. Alex, thank you, sir. And here we go. This is our famous outro. Ready? Go.